よろしくお願いします。いっぱい練習したんだ。見せてあげる。This is not going to be too great. So I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, ever since we got the Leopold Stride, but that's when I realized Great Nature didn't really have a lot of great cards, specifically like grade 2s for me to even try and stand with and have a good game plan with. That changed a little bit after the event, but not gonna lie, the event was kind of ass. Hey everyone, it's Curly, and today we're going to try and go over my Great Nature deck. It is mainly just a Leopold deck. We just got the clan event, it just ended yesterday for me, and it was not great. A lot of the strides we got were not very good. Big Belly doesn't really do much. Some of the grade 2s were nice, but the problem with that is that Great Nature didn't really have a lot of grade 2s to begin with. They have a couple of decent ones, but nothing really that does anything of note for the most part, right? Which I'll go over in a little bit. But I still managed to actually build this set here and have a lot of fun with it. I've actually managed to climb on ranked a couple of times. Oddly enough, for some reason I've faced like, I've done, I want to say like 30 matches. I've played this quite a bit. And out of those 30, maybe it was more like 20 or something like that. Out of those 20, I want to say at least 12 of them are actually Aquaforce. For some reason, I don't know why Aquaforce has suddenly seemed to jump in the ladder. Usually I don't see them that often, but for now, we're just seeing a lot of them. So I'm actually going to, I think, let's go with the Tiger here. My grade 2 aggression is not very strong because I need to keep a lot of my pieces for later. But let's try and see if we can push. Perfect, love that, love part of that, but I'll tell you why in a second. So I have a couple of little interesting techs here. One of those is the Wash Up Raccoon, which you just saw go to the drop. It's actually a pretty interesting little card. I was messing around with it a little bit once I realized that I can actually put back heal triggers in my deck, right? And the reason why I've been using this primarily has been because this is Great Nature doesn't really have anything too threatening. They don't have a really solid good game plan anymore. Before it was kind of simple and, you know, kind of effective. Go into your Polaris, attack, restand, get power, etc., right? But that doesn't really do enough right now. I guess I'll get rid of the Tiger so we're even. So you can't really do too much of that right now on its own because it's just not enough to keep up with everything that's going on right now, right? Then their next wave of support didn't really give them anything that they can really play too much with. I tried to use the Legion stuff, but I didn't really have a lot of success with it. Oh, this is actually Mirror. Okay. That's not that that's a better matchup, but that's a more endurable matchup than Numio. Ironically, I have been able to beat Numio with this deck with the like Wash Up Raccoon and stuff, because I was able to like last a little bit longer and just hit them with the aggression. So what Wash Up Raccoon does is when you retire it at the end of your turn, you can put 3 grade 2 or less units from your drop, except itself, unfortunately, back into your deck, and then you can add a Wash Up Raccoon from your deck to your hand. So what this means is right now, if I were to retire a Wash Up Raccoon, I can put back this heal. Or if a PG someone gets it down there, right? So ideally what I want to try and do with it is try and see if I can get some sort of like early game aggression where I can just throw down my heals with like Tiger and like retire it. Later on retire Raccoon, put back the heals, right? I haven't really been able to do that successfully, so that might not be as plausible. The sort of early game aggression with this deck isn't too great. Might be due to the fact that they do have the Numio, so never mind. Numio Mirror? That's disgusting. How do you even find space for that? But, yikes. We might not even be able to get to do that. That was originally the plan, right? In general, it sort of just works as a nice way, especially if you can do it late game, because more often than not, since you draw so much, you end up with all your Wash Up Raccoons in hand, and there's no way to put them back into the deck. But it's nice late game after you, like, use your hero guards, you can put them back in, try and heal and whatnot. But what makes this deck really shine is the Leopold Strider, which is from Fighter's Collection, so unfortunately if you missed out on that, you will have to go back and craft it instead. but the Leopold Stride is amazing. It's very simple. If you have a heart card that is Leopold, whenever this unit attacks, stand another unit, give it 4k, retire it at the end of the turn, but bring it back. Very, very good. Does everything that this deck wants to do. So let's go ahead and play this and this and this, and we're going to put this onto, it doesn't really matter which one of these we put it onto, so let's, I guess, do the raccoon for now. And what we can do here is we can swing in here, pump up the raccoon here, swing over here, swing over here. We're gonna stand this here, and thank God that goes to the bottom of the deck, and we actually do have a heal, which is nice, so we can actually put that back. I could stand this, considering I might hit a trigger, so I might be able to get some multi-attack here. So let's try and give some power here. No, didn't get it. Unfortunate. I could retire it, but I think what instead I'll do here is I'll ping my raccoon and stand it, so that I can actually draw cards from that as well. Because the problem with Crayon Tiger, I'll go over it at the end of this turn here. So first, Leopold's effect, or the Stride's effect, I retire, bring this unit back. Then we're going to go ahead and retire the raccoon here. And you actually want to use raccoon's effect first, just so you don't draw into your wash-up raccoons. Even though I do have maybe a couple left in deck for once. I usually draw into all three of them. And now we can just go ahead and draw for free. Perfect. The problem with Crayon Tiger is that he doesn't give a boost. He's basically like a cool Hank, where if he attacks a Vanguard and is boosted, you can select one of your units and stand it. But instead of giving it the 3k at the end of the turn, it just retires it and lets you draw a card, which is okay. It's nice for a nice late game push, so you can actually do stuff with it. They did do the near break ride here, but we should be fine. We're at 2 damage. And I do have another Crayon Tiger in hand, so I might be able to push for game, we'll see. But that's essentially the play you just saw is essentially the game plan that you're going to do with this deck. Is just you go in, swing at intercepts, you attack with the, I should just get the name of it, because it's a really long name, that's why I've just been calling it Leopold Chaser, we'll call it Chaser. You go in with your Chaser, stand one of your Crayon Tigers, Crayon Tiger swings in, it can stand the other unit, you can get 3 attacks to the face, right? Which is really nice, especially if your opponent is at 3. I'm sorry, 3. I'm at 3. If your opponent's at 5, is what I'm trying to say. There is a really nice thing with this deck is you can also get a cross ride, which I've been using a lot, which has messed up a couple of decks. Unfortunately, there are times where we are stuck riding the Leopold reverse first, and it's kind of too cumbersome to ride Leopold and ride the reverse again to get the cross ride number. And there's really no way to put Leopold, the regular one, into the soul other than like the lapel penguin or whatever it's called that lets you soul charge, and that's about it. So we're just going to ride skip here. We're going to go into another Leopold. The rest of your Stride deck, your G-Zone doesn't matter. You just need full Leopold. Everything else can be just whatever the hell you want. Because you will never go into them really. There's only maybe a slight chance that you might go into this bird. In case you play something like Link Joker and you need to like retire all of your units, you can use that to draw, but that usually never happens. So yeah, so we are at 5 here, so let's try and push for some game. Play down these things, basically do the same play. Right? We could, instead of the raccoon, so we keep the raccoon, let's power this up, because we're going to end up retiring it anyways with Chaser's skill. And then we're going to swing in here. So if you could just retire the 1 card, that's kind of like how Great Nature works. You retire 1 card, so it fulfills the cost for all the other retire cards. I don't think the power matters here, but we'll give it here. That's already... oh no, this is automatic PG check. So let's go ahead and swing in here. Stand this. Let's heal guard there. And swing in here, don't do anything else. And that's another PG there. Good to see. They only have 2 cards in hand. They've already broke road their mirror, so they'd have to like rewrite it somehow. Let's go ahead and kill off Crayon Tiger. But immediately, we can actually put it in the back row so we can use it next turn, because there's no way that we die next turn. With them only having 3 cards in hand, us having 3 PGs and a heal guard, unfortunately they are definitely going to push us to 5. Oh, that was the break ride, never mind. So they broke road over the break ride, alright, fine. But they still can't push us to 5 here. Or rather, push us past game. Unless they stride, but it's too late for that because they're already in the main phase. And I actually think I have another Wash-Up Raccoon left in deck, so I could theoretically put back my PGs and my heals at the end of this turn. Let's see if we can get that to proc here. They're actually going to play down their last heal guard here, okay. Interesting. Let's see what they put back. See, they put back 2 PGs, a heal guard, and a grade 3. Alright. So they can at worst heal here. They can return 2 and then call 2, which is fine. Or call 1, I think it is. Okay. They hit the draw, so it's possible that they might have a defensive in hand. They definitely have the heal that we saw and put them back, obviously. But they're not going to be able to hit past that damage boost there. So now we can go into the Big Belly and fucking discard him. I play 1 copy of Big Belly just because I do have the Stride Fodder, so I can search it out in case I get, you know, great stuff. But usually don't come up too much. Unfortunately, I put this here just so it wouldn't get swung into, but that's fine. I can still do something here. So let's go ahead and put this here, put this here. We're gonna swing in here. This will buff this up. I guess I should have buffed up. I messed up a little bit. I should have buffed up this guy. Well, it's actually fine. We're gonna stand this up. Because this way he could have swung unboosted that. I kind of stood it again and then swung. That would have been a lot more optimal. Then we can swing in here. We'll boost this, even though this should be game. Unless they heal twice here. And then we'll swing in 1 more time. And we'll stand up Leopold here to go in for game. Hit him with the draw, so they have to double here in order to get out of this. And they're going to have no cards in hand. We're going to have 3 PGs. And then putting back a heal or 2 back into the deck. So that's going to be the game. Leopold is alright. You know, it's a nice little fair deck. Let's go over it right now in depth. So as you've seen from the side, or on the side here, this is the build that I've been using. It's rather simple. First off, from the starter, we are using the Parrot instead of the Telescope Rabbit. You can use the Telescope Rabbit. I don't really have a desire to use the effect to retire stuff because I'm really just focusing on using the Leopold Stride. So I don't really worry too much about like using Platypus or anything like that. But you're more than welcome to use it. There is also the problem it doesn't have any retire protection, so it more than likely will die if the opponent can't kill it, right? We're playing 4 PGs, 3 of the Stride Fodder, 2 of the Platypus, and 4 of the Wash-Up Raccoon. I might switch back to 3-3-3, so 3 of the Stride Fodder, 3 of the Platypus, 3 of the... This is Platypus, right? No, Duckbill, sorry. Coiling Duckbill. 3 of the Duckbill, and then 3 of... It probably is the Platypus, right? 3 of the Wash-Up Raccoon. The problem with Wash-Up Raccoon is if you draw it, it's like a Garnet, it's a dead card in hand. If you draw another one, right? If you have more than one, it kind of really sucks. It doesn't let you cycle as much as you would like to. But as we mentioned, Wash-Up Raccoon, when this is retired, at the end phase, return 3 grade 2 or less cards from your drop, except itself. And then you add 1 from your deck to your hand, which is really good because you can bring back your PGs, your heals, put them back into the deck. Most importantly, you can even put back these grade 2s, which are really nice. So it gives you a nice little recycle option and lets you blast in the game because it gives you that little longevity with the fact that you might hit heals. You're more than likely to hit heals or at least draw them because you do draw a lot in this deck, right? You can draw a lot. And what's really good about it is that you can choose when you want to draw or not, right? So it's not like you're always forced to draw a bunch of cards. You kind of have the agency to choose when you want to draw cards, which is really good. Using stuff like the Coiling Duckbill, which on place it gives a unit the ability when it's retired at the end of the turn you can draw a card. Stuff like that is really nice. Originally I was actually playing, instead of 9 draw, I was actually playing like 9 stands or something like that, trying that out, but that didn't seem to work out too well. And in general, I just want to be able to draw a lot of cards anyways, and Wash-Up Raccoon makes sure that I don't deck out, right? So that's the grade 1s. For grade 2s, we have the Grand Tiger, which is a new card that we just got from the clan event here. Grand Tiger, on GB1, if it's boosted, if you attack a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1. Stand one of your other units, doesn't matter what it is, and at the end of the turn, retire it, draw a card. Unfortunately, it doesn't give power, but thanks to the Leopold Stride, it does kind of help things out, especially if you hit like a grade 3 and you're pushing for 5 or something like that. In general, you kind of use this just for the retire, draw a card sometimes. But it is a nice little tool, especially if you can get a booster on board, then the stand is actually not half bad. In general, that was sort of the main issue I had with this deck, that there was no way to like really get power, which is ironic, considering that's all that Great Nature is about, is giving power, right? But it just didn't seem like enough, right? Especially with the stand, the fact that Grand Tiger doesn't give power on standing really made this really difficult to play. But thankfully, the Leopold Stride makes this all work. We play 4 copies of the Sleeping Tapir, mainly just because it is a resist, which is really good. But also, if you attack Vanguard on Generation Break 1, you can give one of your other units, so not itself, 4k into the end of the turn and then retire it, which is nice. So it gives you the ability to retire something if you need to, but also it gives something 4k, which is kind of nice, right? So you can get some nice little power buffs with that. You can even boost your booster in the back to make this unit hit for a little bit more damage. We play 4 of the Binoculus Tiger, which is one of our key units here. When it attacks anything, you can select another unit, give it 4k. Very good, and at the end of the turn, retire that unit. Very clean, powerful, good card. We play 1 copy of the Malicious Saber, which is just a fucking cat with like a gun. Which is just a 12k attacker on Generation Break 1 when it attacks a Vanguard. It's not too bad. It is one of your sort of stronger units, ironically. I was playing more of these originally, but Binoculus Tiger is just way too good. Especially with the Wash-Up Tiger, I need something to get retired, right? I guess you can play maybe Telescope Rabbit and more of the Saber if you need just a little bit more aggressive power swinging in, so you don't have to like stand up Binoculus Tiger with Grand Tiger and it kind of just stands there, does nothing, right? So at least this would hit if you're at like 5 or something like that. Or if you give it some triggers, it might scale a little bit nicer. For the grade 3s, it's just Leopolds and 1 Big Belly. 4 reverse, 4 normal Leopold. Normal Leopold is really nice. Whenever it attacks on rearguard or Vanguard circle, you can give it 4k, so it's the same thing as the Binoculus Tiger, which is really nice, but you retire it at the end of the turn. Then on Vanguard circle, you can limit break, counterblast 1 in all of your units. If they're retired, they come back. Basically, they just get the ability that if they're retired at the end phase, you can place them back on an empty rearguard circle, so you can't just like overcall or anything like that, right? Which is really nice. Leopold Reverse lets you lock 1 unit and give 2 units 4k power, and you can keep doing this, and it is for free, which is really cool. So if your opponent just doesn't have intercepts, you can just boof up your units, right? Then, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, it does have to hit, you can counterblast 1, stand, and give a unit 4k, and then retire at the end of the turn. So it's an okay little win condition there. If, you have late game, and you can't stride or anything like that, and you're just sitting on reverse, or maybe you don't want to stride, whatever the case may be, the stand skill is not locked behind Limit Break, which is cool. It's only the lock skill, so... you could even use this on your first grade 3 turn if you're going first or something like that, which is really nice. And then, like I said, the cross ride is really nice. You really want to aim for going to Leopold, especially if you're going first, going to Leopold and then cross ride and then stride, and that'll give you really good. Gives you a lot of longevity as well, because the cross ride number does mess up a lot of decks, because a lot of them are expecting 11k Vanguards for their first swing, such as something like Aqua Force, and so on and so forth. 4 heals because we don't want to die. The G zone, as I mentioned, is just all Leopold Stride. That's all that matters. This is the main key here. School Special Investigator Leopold Chaser. If you have a Leopold Heart, when this unit attacks, it can be even when you attack your rearguard, which is really good if you attack intercept. So you can just kind of swing at face even if you only have 1 other card, which is nice. Stand one of your other rearguards and it gets 4k to the end of the turn. Then retire it at the end of the turn, and then bring it back at an empty rearguard circle, which is really nice. This does make it a little bit more difficult with stuff like if you fight against Link Joker, because you're bringing back your units, so you gotta kind of keep that in mind. Because even if you say you retire with a Binoculus Tiger, like you use the effect with a Binoculus Tiger to retire instead of the Leopold effect, or the Leopold Chaser effect, it'll still come back at the end of the turn, which is kind of annoying. If you want to do that, right? But it is nice that you can do the kind of stuff where it doesn't have to be the same spot, right? You can do what I did with the Crayon Tiger, place it somewhere else. But speaking of Link Joker, we're playing the Messiah and then just 2 of the Phoenix here, just because if it hits Vanguard, you can retire. You can give your rearguards 4k power and then retire them and draw one card. So in case you face something like Joker and they have like double intercept or something like that, or they just don't play anything, you can play like a grade 2 and a booster, swing, attack with Phoenix, destroy your 2 intercepts, draw a card, and then that way they can't lock anything from you, right? And you can even use the parrot to then draw another card, which is kind of nice. And then we just play one of this, the Wisdom Teller Dragon, which is another one from Fighters Collection. It's just on hit, give 4k, draw a card. Doesn't retire, doesn't really do much. I just kind of have it there as an option. The GR for Great Nature doesn't do much. It's just I think you Counterblast 1, G-Persona Blast, and then you can give a unit 4k power, and then if it were to attack, it might not even get power, but when it attacks your opponent's Vanguard, if they were to guard, if it has 2k power or more, they have to discard a grade 3 in order to Sentinel, right? So I was trying to actually get it just as a nice little finisher, just run like one Phoenix, one of the Teller Dragon, and then like maybe 2 of them or something like that, or maybe just one Phoenix and then 2 of the GR just to have it. But I ended up not even bothering. I crafted, I think, or not crafted, I grinded up and got 1 from the event, and I was just like, fuck this, I'm not gonna make it. But in any case, that's the deck. Some of the other options that I tried were the grade 2 Compass line, who is an 11k attacker, but at the end of the turn you have to retire something. He does not work with Leopold because what happens is that there might be a way to do it that I'm just not thinking of, but essentially what happens is you retire the Compass Tiger, bring it back with Leopold, but then you still have to retire another unit because of this effect, right? As long as it's on board, its effect is going to proc. No matter if you keep killing it and bringing it back, its effect is going to proc to eat one of your units. You can still use it and like make sure you don't retire with the Leopold Chaser's effect, but I just found that a little bit too cumbersome, to be honest. But that's the deck. Let's see if we can go ahead and have another match real quick. There's Aquaforce. As I've been saying, I was just playing Aquaforce like crazy, and that's kind of where I realized that the cross ride number is really good because it messes up their Lambros turn. It messes up most of their turns. I did manage to get my ass clapped. I am going first, which is nice because I have this 2 little combo here. I did manage to get my ass clapped by, and I have a Strike Fodder. Sorry, I did manage to get my ass clapped by a Maelstrom, which is kind of hilarious because it went into glory and I just didn't have the grade 3 for it. But yeah, there's just been a huge uptick in Aquaforces. I do wish this game had some sort of way of like looking at your match history so I can show you that I'm not just talking out of my ass here. Alright, so here we're actually going to keep the Wash Up Raccoon and ride the Stride Fodder because we have these 2 guys that we can actually use as Stride Fodder. So let's go ahead and pass turn on that. I do want to find a way to not have opponents disconnect. So I could actually have a match, but I do want to try and find a way to there we go, okay, they're back, to retire, maybe not the Wash Up Raccoon, but use the Parrot before they go into their Thavas and do their thing, unless this is for the wave stuff. This is wave. Oh no, Thavas does have wave. Okay, I thought the wave stuff was for not Thavas, but rather the like Tetra Boil stuff. But never mind. I guess it's like for either or, which is nice. We're gonna lose the Tapir, which doesn't really matter in this matchup. It is nice in certain matchups, but sometimes it just doesn't really do much. I can retire with the Leopold, so I might be able to. I could put it on like the heal, and then a swing in with the heal, or I can put it. I don't know what's the best way to do that. We'll see. It depends on what we draw next. So I might just boost up the heal, retire it, and next turn try and put it back, draw a card with that, but that might not really be worth it. We're gonna get the Tiger here, which is kind of nice, but I might actually keep that. I kind of like keeping this, especially for next turn, so I can get a little bit more aggressive. I do have a bunch of grade 3s here, so I think I'm just going to play this here. I'm going to use the Parrot to ping my extra Leopold here, and then we're just going to swing here, and we're going to buff up said Leopold, and hope my opponent doesn't check a trigger. Never mind, doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Oh, double heal is really huge here, especially because I have the Wasp Raccoon in hand, so I can actually bring them back. So that's kind of nice. Let's go ahead and retire that. Draw a card here, which is going to be another Leopold. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be hitting many triggers this game, but that's fine. So they are going to go into the one that suppresses the Storm Thavas here. And more than likely stride into that dragon. I forgot his name. Ooh, hard stride with the PG. Mega yikes. Mega yikes, my friend. And the title bore. Yeah, that is a bit rough. But they are going to be able to draw a lot of cards here if they play this right. We'll see. Unless I check a defensive right away, then I might put a hamper to their plans, but we'll see what they have in mind. Alright. Alright, 2 of those. Alright, so this is like the expensive Basil / Diamantis, because you have to counterblast to attack through intercepts and counterblast to get power. So it's counterblast 2 for something that Diamantis and Basil do for free. PG to the bottom, good to see. Only gonna go in for 2 attacks. Don't know why you even played this here. Could have just played this here, maybe called out a booster and gotten another attack in. So that was questionable at best. But alright. Let's get our cross right here, and let's go into Leopold. We can go ahead and discard the big belly. We do have the Crayon Tiger, so we can do the Crayon Tiger play from before. I might actually use it with maybe the Leopold just to get in a little bit more aggression in. Let's see. Because I can use that swing and then stand the Crayon Tiger. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? I'm only at 2 damage, so I can be a little bit more risky here. I can even use Crayon Tiger to stand this, but I don't think that's going to work. So we're going to use this to swing in here. We'll use the Leopold to swing in at Thavas, and we're actually going to boost up the Wasp Raccoon, so we can put back those heals. They are not going to check anything. Leopold Chaser is going to go in. We're going to stand here. If we get 2 triggers, which I doubt we will, we can actually attack again. Ooh, that kind of sucks. Another one? No. Alright, I didn't think so. We still have another Wasp Raccoon, which is fine. I am going to swing in here, and I guess I can keep the Leopold while I'm at it, to be honest. So we're just going to actually stand up the Wasp Raccoon just to keep cards in hand, or on board, I should say. So we're going to retire this, but we'll bring it back this time as a defensive just to be safe. So let's go ahead and retire this, and then use its effect first. Because we only have 1 Wash-Up Raccoon. We can put back the Crayon Tiger. The Tapir is not really important for this matchup. And then we'll draw a heal. Right back. Alright. So we actually have, I believe, 2 heals in deck. So alright, we should be fine here. We have 2 heals, 2 damage, and an intercept. If they go for their Thawas turn, they're going to get cucked. Or it's not Thawas, Lambro's turn. They're going to get cucked by my break right here. Unless they play a bunch of grade 3s, not even grade 3s, they just have to boost into it, so it just makes it really awkward for their power scaling. Let's see how they do this. I'm glad I managed to find an Aqua Force on ladder, because I've been talking about it so much. Alright, well, sure, both of those are not going to hit. I'm not sure what they're planning on doing with the Adelaide. Okay. Oh, I guess they're just gonna blank swing switch? No. Okay, so you just have her there for the sake of having her there? Sure, why not? It's not gonna hit. Then you're gonna stand, and then you're gonna be able to hit. Okay, fair enough. And you're gonna stand again with less power and not be able to hit, but you will be able to kill my Leopold, which is fine. Okay, give a shit about that, honestly. And then you're gonna stand, but I don't think you're going to be able to hit. Maybe the Algo will hit? Yeah, the Algo can definitely hit. So you push me to 5. I know you've lost 2 PGs already, because there's 1 in deck, and you had to discard 1. I've lost 2 PGs, as I mentioned that, which is a bit unfortunate. And I don't have any more Watch Raccoons, so I can't put anything back, so I can kind of just throw everything down right now. I do have to maybe get rid of the Wash-Up Raccoon. I think I'll keep the tiger so I can try and swing in that face. Hopefully we can hit into a crayon tiger here, and then we can actually do a really nice aggressive turn. Maybe even clinch it. Well, let's see. We do not. We get the tapir instead. I might be able to do something with the tapir. No, I can't do anything with the tapir because I can't stand anything. I could do something where like I swing at intercept, and then I swing at other intercept with Leopold, stand, and then swing. They both power themselves up, knowing that they don't have any. Knowing that they don't have any. They only have 2 PGs in hand, but I don't think I can actually effectively hit through that. So let's not even bother. And we'll just try and hit big numbers with this here. This is probably going to be an L, unfortunately, just because I fucking blacked out on PGs. I managed to recycle the heals, but I don't think that's going to be enough for this match here. Unless I can get like one of those, that would be nice. And nope, not what I needed. So this is a PG check here. And then, thankfully, this is enough power for a second PG check, so they'd have to have their last PG in hand here, which they do. Alright, so I was trying to see if there was a way that I can do a third PG check, but I just couldn't power scale enough in order to be able to do that. So we might be dead here. If they have another Lambros, I'm assuming we're dead. The cross ride might screw them up a little bit, but maybe not enough. We'll see. Because they can definitely mess me up. But if they don't hit any triggers, and if I maybe hit one defensive, I should be able to survive, I think, a Lambros turn here. Since I'm at 4, they are going to go for the Basil, alright, and the Diamantes, alright. So Diamantes is going to swing a blank, then move the other girl up, swing, and then Basil is going to swing to the other intercept, Lambros is going to hit me, and then stand the other column, and I should be able to double heal guard that at worst. So we should be fine here. We don't have the capability to stride again at this moment, which kind of sucks. But we'll see. Getting that heal was actually pretty huge the previous turn, otherwise I'd be dead here. That's just one heal guard there, so we should be good here. They only have 2 cards in hand, not a single PG in sight. So if we can just swing in with our Leopold here, we're actually going to win. So we'll risk the biscuit here. We'll 100% risk the biscuit. Because I can definitely try and close this out here. If I can just get one other card that can actually hit, perfect. That's exactly what I need. So we can just go here, here, here. I'm gonna end up standing you anyways. So we can go ahead and swing here with Tapir. Whoops, Crayon Tiger over here. And swing in here, ask for double heal guard. Oh, and get a heal ourselves. So if they do double heal guard, I could boost this up a little bit. But let's see. Even if they heal, I do head over with this Crayon Tiger. Or nope, I needed one more, so that would have actually fucked me. But that's fine. That's gonna do it. Leopold is actually kind of fun now. Make sure you guys give it a shot. If you have the pieces for it, it might be a little bit tricky now since some of these cards are kind of old. But nonetheless, let me know what you thought about this deck in this video down in the comments below. And until next time, take care of yourself.